Hi, and welcome back to the Messy Bookshelf. I may sound a little weird because I came down with a case of tonsillitis this week. So this is why it's going up so late, because I didn't pre-film it. I was sick all week. I didn't even think I was going to get a video up, but I'm feeling a lot better today and I actually had the day off, so I decided to actually film this video. So this is going to be my January wrap-up video. I actually read a lot more in January than I thought I did, so I'm just going to kind of jump right into it. So the first book that I finished in January, I actually talked about my December TBR because I actually listened to it mostly in December, and that is House of Hades by Rick Riordan. I listened to this audiobook for the most part in December, and I listened to the last 20 minutes of it in January. So technically I finished it this month, but I basically read it in December. The first official book that I read this month is You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Levithan. I was super excited to read this because I love both of these authors and I absolutely loved this book. It was so cute and full of hope and exactly what I needed to read at the beginning of a new year. I even tabbed a quote, and the quote that I tabbed is, "And I think you have to gamble in order to win," and it just kind of really sat with me and I highly recommend this. I gave it 5 stars. The next book that I finished was another audiobook, and it is The Diva Rules by Michelle Visage. If you don't know who she is the co-host or one of the judges on RuPaul's Drag Race, which is one of my favorite reality shows, probably one of the only reality shows that I actually watch. It is a reality show about a bunch of drag queens coming together and competing to become America's next drag superstar, and it's such an amazing show. These men are fabulously talented. So I heard good things about Michelle's book from a coworker, so I decided to listen to it because she narrates it, and I love it when authors narrate their own books. And I was not disappointed. This was a really great, it's kind of like a self-help memoir. So she tells her life story, but then gives you tips on how to apply things to your life, and I found it really good. I gave it 4 stars and I highly recommend it. The next book that I finished was actually a school book, and it is a reread, and it is A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. I had to read this last summer for a English gender writing class, and I had to read it again for my women's writing class. I really enjoyed this. It's definitely interesting to see Virginia Woolf's take on women writers or women in fiction. This is basically a bunch of speeches that she gave at universities, and it's very interesting and I highly recommend it. And I gave it 4 stars. The next book I read was Mosquitoland by David Arnold. This one I had on my TBR shelf for quite a while, and I had been wanting to get to it, especially because I received an ARC of his second book, which I never ended up getting to. But I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. This tells the story of Mim, whose parents are divorced and her father moves her across the country, so she jumps on a Greyhound bus to go and visit her mom without telling anyone, and she meets a bunch of different characters, and I would totally be okay with a companion novel for this because there are some things in the end that although it finishes nicely, I really want to know what happens to some of the characters, some of these like secondary characters. The next book the last book that I finished this month is Archie Volume 1 by Mark Waid, Fiona Staples, Annie Wu, and Veronica Fish. This is the reimagining of the original Archie comics. I picked this up because the CW show Riverdale just started, and I had a feeling that it was more close to these books than to the original digests, and I was kind of right. The show definitely goes on its own rope, and I have some theories about it. I may make a video about it. I'm not really sure. If you want to see a video about Riverdale, let me know down in the comments. But I really enjoyed this. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, so I only gave it 3 stars, but I am planning on picking up the second one sometime soon. So those are all the books that I read in January. I think January was a fantastic reading month for me this year. Normally January is not all that good, but I'm pretty pleased with myself. and I'm hoping that February isn't going to continue on the way it's been going, because so far I've had no interest to read this week, mostly because I'm sick and I do have a lot of reading to do in the first 2 weeks for school, so I'll be getting to that before I get to my February TBR. But let me know down below if you've read any of these books. What books did you read in January? If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up and please hit the subscribe button to get my content when it comes out every Friday. I will see you next week. Bye!